Welcome into another episode of Phone It In right here on Sobros Network. Mine's right, ass is tight as we tackle episode 80 for you today. Is 80 a milestone, Rooster? I mean, wow.
I don't know. I felt sick when you said it.
where does all the time go?
Yeah.
Where does all the time go? I am Big Natural Stoney Keeley. You can follow me on Twitter at Stoney Keeley, collectively at Sobros Network on all major social media platforms. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe to Phone It In. Wherever you take in your podcast, we are out there in those internet streets. That other lovely voice you heard is the star of the show herself, the cryptid queen, Rooster. Rooster, how you doing today?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great. I've got something acting up in my foot, but I guess this is 38.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Not
I don't know.
Toenail?
It's not a toenail, though.
Okay.
I do have ingrown toenails back on both of my big toes. And I got some I don't know if you guys can see it if you're watching live, but I got some shit going on with my fingernail too. I think I'm fucking up how I'm clipping my nails. That's what my wife says.
What do you do?
I just clip them. I just clip them.
Do you clip them really close?
I guess that's what my wife says. So I tried not doing that, and then it still happens.
I just cut mine, but I like to keep them sort of on the long side.
What happened to your thumb? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh gosh. Where is your thumb? So we're going to be talking about the Philadelphia experiment today. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, if you're live with us wherever you may be watching this show, feel free to hop into the comment section. Let us know what you're thinking, what you're drinking on this fine Monday afternoon. It is May 12th. Man, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Almost 5 months of this year have gone by. I don't know why I'm feeling particularly
Don't say it. Don't say that.
I'm not gonna say okay. We're gonna move on.
It makes you feel old.
It does. I mean,
when time passes fast, you feel old as shit. You're like,
and it's inevitable. You know, it's like there's nothing you can do to slow it down or to stop it. It's just
it just keeps getting faster. Yeah.
I'm gonna blink and I'm gonna be 39 years old, which my birthday's at the end of June.
It is
half the year. Half the year will have been gone by. Will have been gone by. That's right.
It's fine.
I got it. It's crazy. Just like 80 episodes of Phone It In.
Well, I'm kind of surprised we don't have more, but
well, it was because we started out doing these once a month, and we only went to sort of, yeah. We only went to bi-weekly. Was it this year or last year?
Last year. Mm-hmm.
Last year, yeah. So we've been doing this show for. Here's something else that'll make you feel old. If I'm not mistaken, the first episode of Phone It In was 2019. Maybe. Yeah. 2019 or 2020, around that time.
That sounds right. Mm-hmm.
And we would do, it was just for fun. Like, we weren't very serious about it. So we would do,
I think 2019.
Episode 1 would be in January, and then episode 2 would be in March, and then we'd have two episodes in May, 3 episodes in June, and then not another episode until October. But I mean, wow, to get it to 80 episodes. Do you remember every episode that we've done?
No.
We were just talking about it before we went live. We're like, oh yeah, we did an episode on the Manhattan Project.
We didn't.
You're like, no, we did not.
We did not. No, I think I wouldn't be able to tell you a list of the 80 stuff, but I know we haven't done the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
And I know we've done ghost horses. I remember random ones.
Well, it's like, if you tell me what we talked about, I'll remember the episode, but I might not get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't remember off the top of my head that we did an episode on Typhoid Mary, but if you mention Typhoid Mary episode, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that. It
exactly. Yeah.
And so we did start in 2019 because that was our COVID episode. Is we talked about
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
man,
I
that's
mean, I do
crazy.
remember that we started it before COVID happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, I would
Which
almost be,
COVID, 5 years.
yeah. I kind of want to go back and listen to like the first few
Oh
episodes of Phone
God.
It In and
You have
just,
fun with that.
just, just two friends trying to find their footing on a podcast is always fun to listen to.
No.
It's not the, it was not the well-oiled machine that this show is today.
Which even like, is it? I feel like I haven't actually changed much. I just say whatever the fuck comes into my head, which is stupid most of the time.
I think I don't know that it's like the spirit of the show has necessarily changed, but I feel like we've just gotten more comfortable. I think it takes a little bit of time to like fill in the gaps as far as like chemistry and timing and
Yeah.
that aspect of the production.
Yeah. Well, and we know kind of the layout of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's big too. It's big too. What is is there a topic that we haven't done yet that you're like, man, why have we not done that? And we need to get to it.
I think there are some topics I have that seem like they would be really big, so I haven't wanted to do them.
Yeah.
Like JFK,
Ooh.
something like that. Like whenever you ask or we talk about like what we're doing in like a genre of topic and it's a
Mhm.
conspiracy theory, I'm always like, I'm not ready for JFK. Because it's
Yeah.
just, well, it's also been done so much.
That's
Like
true.
one of those.
Well, I actually don't have anything off the top of my head because I kind of like that. I mean, you're right because we do. I know we're very rarely successful at this, but you do try to keep the episodes at like an hour to be
Yeah.
digestible. We'll have a
Mhm.
little bit of fun with the topic, but still really get into it.
Right.
It's a good time frame, and there are topics. You're right that are so big. We've done wasn't there an
They're
episode that went
exhausting.
like 2 hours or something like that?
Oh, probably.
I'd have to flip back to
I
the
feel like there's
archive.
one that we broke up into part 1 and 2.
I don't remember that.
I feel like there's one, I don't remember what, but like the longer, like Dyatlov's Pass, I think was pretty big. That was a long one.
That was like the 3rd episode that we ever did.
So like we probably just
Just
didn't have
random.
the format going.
JFK is a good one. Maybe we can shoot for that for like the big well, no, we can't make it episode 100 and then split it up into multiple episodes. So I don't know.
Well, Rasputin got pretty long. I don't think it was 2 hours though.
I bet he did. Old
I don't
Rasputin.
remember how long that one was though. I think that got close to an hour and a half, but maybe not.
I swear, I think there was one that we got like really out of hand with. This is riveting podcasting.
Just talking about shit that we're not verifying about our own podcast.
Oh man, I forgot we did an episode on the Biltmore estate, and that was just last summer.
Yep.
The Rasputin episode was awesome.
Yeah.
I like how I'm like, yeah, we try to keep it under an hour, and half the episodes I'm scrolling through are like an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes. I'll effort this. Oh yeah, okay. So our episode on capitalism from August of 2023 went an hour and 48 minutes.
I don't even remember doing that one. So that's one that I just I must have blacked that out. And it's our longest one. What the fuck did we talk about?
Our episode on sinkholes only went 44 minutes. So yeah, an hour and a half on Devil's Den. That was a great episode.
I thought maybe that one was a longer one too.
I swear there was one early on. Oh, it doesn't have the show length on all of these. Bummer. I want to say it was like the Skinwalker Ranch episode, maybe.
Okay. That I do remember that being kind of long.
The Disney theme park deaths. I think that is still our most downloaded episode. An hour and 29 minutes. Huh?
Disney and deaths. I mean, those are two.
Oh yeah.
Pretty clickable things.
We did an hour and a half on Project Blue Book. An hour and a half on Skinwalker Ranch.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just imagining that.
So say Dyatlov.
I just closed out of the window.
Okay.
So.
Well, God damn it.
And I forgot we did the episode on the little weather station thing in Alaska. Harp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to start keeping like a running doc of our episodes that we've done, or else we're gonna start doing them again.
Well, I mean, I see the agendas all listed out. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad one of us is organized.
Sort of.
So we've given everybody ample time to settle in with us before we dig into
leave. Yeah.
or leave. Like, fuck these people. These people fucking suck. They're just rambling about all the podcasts.
1-star review on Spotify.
Yeah. I still want to know.
There's another one. There's another bad review, I think. It was like,
is there really?
I think so.
Oh man, no. Did they leave any sort of text on it?
No, nobody has.
Yeah. That's fine. We'll be all right. So the Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah.
That's where we are today. Mm-hmm. What about this topic made you want to talk about it on today's episode?
So, when we were talking about genre, it'd been a minute since we'd done a conspiracy. And it's hard to find a good conspiracy because it's either like really plausible and tricky, like JFK, or it's incredibly stupid. Like one I looked up was Finland. It isn't actually a place. It's made up by
what?
It's Russia and Japan have made up this idea that Finland exists, and they really just use it to fish there.
That's a conspiracy?
It started out as like just a stupid thing on Reddit, but that's what I'm saying. Like, new conspiracy theories are just stupid things on Reddit, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
It's either people take them way too seriously or they're completely stupid.
That's a bummer.
So I wanted to find a good middle ground. And this is one I heard about forever ago and always seemed really interesting to me, but I really struggled to remember what it was. Because I always confuse it with the Manhattan Project.
As one does.
Yeah. I mean, Philadelphia experiment, Manhattan Project, pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah, sure.
So, this is a good one that's right in the middle. It's weird.
It's weird.
It's not that plausible, but it's also not like incredibly stupid. It's
that's
fun.
That's what really got me about this, like reading over our agenda and getting into it a little bit, is like how we'll get into it, but it's like, how do we go from trying to cloak a ship to people are being melted into the side of the boat? Right. There's a leap here in this theory that I just don't like. How did we get here?
Yeah, like a plot hole. Yeah, how could? Yeah. Why would a crazy conspiracy theory have plot holes?
Touche.
But there are interesting things at the end then that also tie into it. Like, I like when you can take a little bit from it, like, oh, maybe something here was true.
Yeah, I like
probably
that.
not, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, let's dig into it then. Let's go.
So I have Conspiracies and Secret Societies book that my brother gave me for my birthday forever ago, and this little section on it is like, it's completely true, which I love. I love that energy.
Yeah.
So this is a little thing I took from that, like, hell yeah, book.
I've got 3 or 4 conspiracy books on my bookshelf, and that's where I found the episode on ghost horses that we did. There was a tale from one of those books, and I was like,
oh yeah.
Holy shit, we gotta talk about this.
So this is from my book. It says, in October 1943, the U.S. Navy accomplished the invisibility and teleportation of a warship from Philadelphia to its dock near Norfolk, VA. The World War II secret test has been covered up because of its tragic effects on the crewmen who participated in the experiment. Like, it's
So
just so like, this happened. They
I know
accomplished it.
that's what I was about to say. The distinction there, it's not that they're attempting to make this warship invisible and teleport it. They actually did it. They accomplished it. The wording so certain in this. This is like a historical text.
That's what I love about conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I give me that crazy shit, but not too like. I don't want vaccines are making our children autistic. I want
Yeah, no, that's not fun.
I want fun, stupid shit,
Yeah,
but not too stupid.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Give me more like the real Avril Lavigne died in 2005
Yes,
or whatever.
that's a good one. I need to write that down. Hold on.
Okay, I'm 100% in for that, and we can do an episode on the Ultimate Warrior too, because there's a fun conspiracy theory out there among wrestling fans that the real Ultimate Warrior died, and they replaced him with an imitation.
Okay, I put both of those down.
Ultimate Warrior / we should just do an episode on the Ultimate Warrior, the life and times to begin
Okay,
with. That would be a lot of fun, but the Avril Lavigne one would I mean that'd be a good show.
Okay, so the experiment. The experiment was allegedly based on an aspect of some unified field theory, a term coined by Albert Einstein to describe a class of potential theories. Such theories would aim to describe mathematically and physically the interrelated nature of the forces of electromagnetism and gravity.
Okay.
According to some accounts, unspecified researchers thought that a theory of this type would enable using large electrical generators to bend light around an object via refraction so that the object became completely invisible.
Okay.
Which I think they actually, I feel like there's shields or something that exist now that do that.
The Predator wears one.
Well, I think I don't know where I've seen it. I've seen it where it really does bend around people.
Yeah, but it's like you can still see.
It looks
like,
a little strange.
It's like the shape of a person, but it's kind of like masked the actual person.
Yeah.
It's almost like a funhouse mirror kind of.
Yeah.
It's like if you look long enough, you can tell somebody's standing there, but if you're just like passing by, you wouldn't know.
God, that would freak me out. That would seem like a glitchy little bit, like just a blur out of the corner of your eye. Like, what the fuck?
That's where my brain would go. I would not automatically think like, oh, cloaking shield. I would think, oh my God, there's a rip in space time.
Yeah, right.
I'm about to be sucked over to Skinwalker Ranch.
Or the predator is about to kill me.
Or the predator is real and he's about to kill me.
If you don't have any weapons, he won't.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Fair fight.
Just gonna get butt ass naked.
Right.
Immediately. Like, I got nothing, buddy.
The Navy regarded this as military value and it sponsored the experiment. So another unattributed version of the story proposes that researchers were preparing magnetic and gravitational measurements of the seafloor to detect anomalies, supposedly based on Einstein's attempts to understand gravity. In this version, there were also related secret experiments in Nazi Germany to find anti-gravity, allegedly led by SS Obergruppenführer Hans Kammler.
Okay.
So these are just like where this might have come from.
Yeah.
Like what's the seed where this might have come from? It was kind of hard to put this into an agenda because the way the story unfolds is like after the fact.
Okay. So is that to say like there's just not a lot of information while everything is happening? Like this was just something that was dug up later on and there's not a lot of information or testimony from people that were actively working on this, or what?
Yeah, I mean, this story comes from one person, so.
Oh, well, shit.
I know, but it's still fun, and maybe there's something to it.
Well, everybody else,
That comes from it.
everybody else that was there was fucking melded into a boat.
It's true.
Or teleported 200 miles away.
So there are no reliable or attributed accounts, but in most accounts of the supposed experiment, USS Eldridge was fitted with the required equipment at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. Testing began in the summer of 1943, and it was supposedly successful to a limited extent. One test resulted in Eldridge being rendered nearly invisible, with some witnesses reporting a greenish fog appearing in its place. And this is what I've heard of. When I first heard about this, I remember hearing about the greenish fog.
Man, that's terrifying.
I wonder if there's a movie. I feel like I heard more about this years ago.
Well, I showed you that picture of the greenish fog in the sky above my neighborhood.
That's true, you did.
And like my wife and I have both seen that twice now. We'll come home, it's in the same part of the sky. There's just like this green fog that's up in the sky.
Yeah, and all those booms that are going on there.
All the booms that are happening. Like we need to wake up, Mount Juliet. Like there's
wake up, Mount. Don't say that, because that is a common phrase from the Mothman prophecies, where people were getting into the phones, and on random phone calls, people were being like, "Wake up, number 1456."
What if I just started some high strangeness shit in Mount Juliet just from saying that? Ooh, that gave me chills. I take it back.
I'm gonna make you read Mothman prophecies one of these days.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, there is some weird shit happening out here that nobody but me seems to be talking about.
We're gonna do an episode on Mount Juliet one of these days.
Everybody's too in their head down, driving through traffic in this town. Like, you can't go anywhere in Mount Juliet anymore without sitting in traffic for 45 minutes.
Oh,
people are so focused on getting to and from work, and we're not even paying attention to the fact that there's loud booms that nobody can explain, that the police have gone to investigate, that they can't even say, like, there's no evidence of anything happening out here. There's weird green fog in the sky that we've seen a couple of times now. I hear a helicopter flying over my house at the same time pretty much every night. Come on.
Wake up.
I'm not going to say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. I don't want to be held responsible for this.
Okay. Crew members complained of severe nausea afterwards. That's where we left off.
Okay.
So, allegedly, when the ship reappeared, some sailors were embedded in the metal structures of the ship, including one sailor who ended up on a deck level below where he began and had his hand embedded in the steel hull of the ship, as well as some sailors who went completely bananas.
Oh man, what would you
like? Why would they do that with sailors on the ship? Like, if you're doing an experiment to just teleport a ship from one dock to another, why do you have people on it?
Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they were just trying. They're like, just point this shit at that ship.
Oh, okay, so you think they just picked a ship?
Yeah. Well, they can't get, they can't get the you can't just go like buy a warship, right? Well, I guess you can if you're the Navy, but
yeah, it's the Navy doing it.
Yeah. So no, I don't know. Maybe they were just like, we got to figure out, like, if we're going to do this, we're eventually going to be using.
Might as well just go in with people right off the bat.
Start right off the bat. You know how bad that would suck to just get embedded into a ship like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was like instantaneous. Like,
I don't think it was. I think some people are alive from kind of the stories that I saw. I would hope that it would be like Magneto shit in like the first X-Men movie. Like,
okay,
if we're doing something weird and you're trying to, like, give me powers at least. Let me come out of this with something. Or like the Hulk, like if we're doing experiments.
Yeah, I would 100% be on board with that.
Like, why can't I get a superpower from this? Not like be embedded with a ship.
I don't know how I would feel about like a 50-50 dice roll. Like either I'm going to get these awesome powers or this thing's going to be over and my hand's going to be stuck in a ship.
Okay, so if it was 50, you wouldn't take that?
I don't think I would, no. And I definitely would not want to lose my sanity.
I think I might take it.
Yeah. I would watch you take it. And then I just
I feel like I would take that chance with my luck.
Yeah.
I don't feel like my luck is that bad.
I've got a black cloud over me.
So. I don't think that's true.
Well, yeah. I think, well, first of all, I mean, I do think luck is largely overrated. I do think
it is.
I think that there are instances that are lucky, but I don't know that luck is necessarily an attribute that you could tie to one person.
No.
So, in that sense, I think people more or less make their own luck. But I do think that there are instances of complete coincidence that can only be defined as luck, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
TK, our guy TK's in the chat. Stoney blasting Sexy Red is attracting the aliens to his location. I do blast Sexy Red. I love Sexy Red. That's I'm into these days. But keep the aliens and keep the Mothman away from my house. Yeah. Y'all can stay in Mount Juliet doing whatever you're doing. Just don't bother me.
No, the Men in Black are going to come.
Fuck.
You do need to read that book, though. I'm going to make you one of these days.
All right. Philadelphia experiment.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Where were we? Do we know?
Yeah. There's also a claim the experiment was altered after that point at the request of the Navy, as one does when you realize you've melted people.
Yeah, you can't like, oh shit, we fucked that up.
Limiting it to creating a stealth technology that would render USS Eldridge invisible to radar. So not trying to teleport it anymore, just make it invisible to radar. Like invisible. Much more realistic.
Yeah, invisible.
Like, you know what? Let's roll this back. we messed up. Invisible to radar.
Yeah, let's settle there and baby steps. We'll build that foundation before we teleport this thing. Invisible to radar is quite different than invisible to the naked eye.
Mm-hmm. Although, but if I could become Nightcrawler,
I would be
that's the power I want. I want to be Nightcrawler. That's what I want.
Even if it made you like a blue furry little creature.
Oh my god. Yes, even more so. Give me that shit.
All right.
That made me sound like a furry, but I just want to look like a demon. I just want to look like a demon. I don't care about the furry aspect.
You could fuck with me so bad because you just teleport like right outside my window and I'd be paranoid about all the weird shit happening in Mount Juliet. And I'd just be like, oh my God, there's the fucking Mothman in my backyard.
I'm too practical to want anything else. Like flying would take too long. I need to just let me get to the bank. Let me get to the grocery store.
Just in broad daylight, you would be using your
powers. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I look like a demon.
I would be here for flying. I would like to fly. That would be cool.
I will teleport into the sky, drop, and then teleport out. It'll feel the same.
Ooh, what are the physics behind that? Oh man, because like, how does gravity affect night? This is the fucking nerdy. We're not having this conversation.
No. Okay. Other versions of the story give the date of the experiment as October 28th, 1943. In this version, Eldridge not only became invisible, but disappeared from the area and teleported to Norfolk, Virginia, over 200 miles away. It is claimed that Eldridge sat for some time in view of men aboard the ship SS Andrew Farusith, whereupon Eldridge vanished and then reappeared in Philadelphia at the site it had originally occupied. So they did a snip, snap situation.
Can you imagine just like sitting out on the dock eating your lunch, and then
I don't know why I thought you were about to say curds and whey.
eating your curds and whey? Can you imagine sitting out on the dock eating your curds and whey, and like a warship just pops up in the dock, and then it disappears? Like who could you even tell about that? No one would believe you.
I mean, if you have enough people.
Well, that's true.
You know, you all go as a group, but you can't do it separately. You have to go as a group and tell somebody.
Were the dudes
And then
melted
they're not
into the
going to believe
side of
them.
ship at this point?
Like a torso hanging out on the hull,
Like
just
God.
screaming.
It's like, God, what the fuck is happening right now?
That would be, honestly, that is some fucking old school body horror shit. That is like some Clive
Owen.
Fuck, what's that author's
Barker.
name? What did you say, Barker? Yes.
Barker.
That is
Clive
like
Barker.
some that is like some that's his kind of shit right there.
Well, should write a book about the Philadelphia experiment.
I wonder if there is an actual fiction book or movie out there. That cuz like as like pure body horror freak stuff, like space-time teleportation, bodies stuck in metal screaming.
There's our quota of fiction ideas.
I know, we always have to have a new one.
Yeah. Oh man, I've got a great idea, but I'm not going to talk to you about it because I don't want to give it away. I'm just going to finish the story and let you read it before anybody else.
Okay. Fair. I'll be your beta reader.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, many versions of the tale include descriptions of serious side effects for the crew. Some crew members were said to have been physically fused to bulkheads, while others suffered from mental disorders. Some rematerialized inside out.
Oh.
Wasn't there something on I feel like All That? Or
don't remember that.
God, I feel like there was some inside out person in one of those fucked up child shit.
Kablam.
Kablam, one of those things.
Yeah.
Some crew members were said to have been physically fused. Oh, right, I read that. It is claimed that the ship's crew may have been subjected to brainwashing to maintain the secrecy of the experiment.
Ah, okay. So that's why nobody's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was brainwashed.
Which in our, what was it? Devil's
Den.
That guy talked about it. Like they brought him in and they kind of hypnotized him to get info and then tried to make there was some weird government shit going on with that one too.
Yeah. I mean, we've got the episode on MK Ultra too.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were definitely doing weird stuff back then.
So. They were.
Okay. So the source of the story originated in late 1955 when Carl M. Allen sent an anonymous package marked Happy Easter containing a copy.
Hold on. If it was anonymous, how'd they know it was Carl M. Allen?
Well, they figured this out afterwards.
Oh, well then, oh boy. Step up your anonymity game.
Also, how freaky. Just Happy Easter. Here's this fucking anonymous package containing a copy of Morris K. Jessup's book, The Case for the UFO Unidentified Flying Objects, to the U.S. Office of Naval Research.
Oh my God.
Like, you can't get more like this guy might be a serial killer.
Yeah, like this is a situation. We need to handle this right now.
But the book was filled with handwritten notes in its margins written with 3 different shades of blue ink, appearing to detail a debate among 3 individuals.
What?
Spoiler alert, it's all just one person.
Oh my God.
Like this is serial killer shit.
Yeah.
I mean, man, it's very schizophrenic.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Which doesn't mean serial killer. It's just making me think of fucking Zodiac though. But
yeah.
But God.
Or I mean, maybe he was just on a ship that had his brain turned inside out.
But this is so much like I miss this kind of stuff. Now people just have social media and they post stupid shit.
Yeah, and everything like it just feels like a creepypasta, and you just
Yeah.
like shrug it off.
It's
Like,
creepypasta, or
yeah.
it's just a troll, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
nothing has, like, the gravitas. Like, nobody's committing to the bit like they used to.
No. It's a shame what's
I
happened
know.
to our good old-fashioned conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Shortly thereafter, in January 1956, Allen began sending a series of letters to Jessup. So this is how they know who it is.
Okay.
Because this guy starts sending letters to Jessup, who is the guy who has the book, who wrote the book. So he sent this book to the Navy, and then he starts sending letters to the author of the book.
Man. Okay.
The first known letter warned Jessup not to investigate the levitation of unidentified flying objects. Allen put forward a story of dangerous science based on alleged unpublished theories by Albert Einstein.
That would be cool if we
Yeah.
could find, some unpublished theories by Albert Einstein.
It's all around the same time. Like World War II, weird theories, weird science. Like you
Yeah.
had the Germans experimenting on people. So our government's like, hey, let's do that too, because we have to know our enemy. And you
Yeah.
have all this fucked up weird shit happening.
Man.
It's like prime time
What a
for
what a time to
conspiracy
be alive.
theories. What a time to be alive and a scientist.
Yeah.
Because they're like, we don't care. We're fucking everything up.
Yeah, we're gonna
Make an
go
atom
through this.
bomb? Hell
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. One way or another.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get our science projects off.
Yes. Okay. He further claimed a scientist named Franklin Reno, which, what a name,
That is a good name.
put these theories into practice at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard in October 1943. So I guess this is where we have a scientist, at least.
Yeah.
Like, does Franklin Reno exist? You know?
We should have looked that up.
We should. Okay, so Allen claimed to have witnessed this experiment while serving aboard the SS Andrew Forsyth. So Allen is supposed to be one of those guys on the ship.
Okay.
In Norfolk, Virginia. Do they say it as Norfolk?
I always thought it was Norfolk. Norfolk.
That would be like the very American way of saying it. But like because it's an English place and they say Norfolk. So I have no idea.
I have always heard Norfolk.
Okay, so Norfolk,
Virginia, but what do I know? I'm from Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
I tried looking up the pronunciation. I just got English. I was like, well, shit, I don't know.
Yeah, no, we gotta go to Virginia to find out how the locals pronounce it. That can be our episode 100. We'll travel
and just be like, how do you pronounce the city we're in right now?
Yeah,
and that's it.
For now.
Okay, so in Allen's account, a destroyer escort was successfully made invisible, but the ship inexplicably teleported to Norfolk, Virginia for several minutes and then reappeared in Philadelphia. So that one supposed theory is what Allen saw. That's what he's putting forth.
Gotcha. So he's taken that experience and that's kind of forming the basis for this whole theory.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 officers at ONR, which is Office of Naval Research, Captain Sidney Sherby and Commander George W. Hoover took a personal interest in the matter. Hoover later explained that his duties as Special Projects Officer required him to investigate many publications and that he ultimately found nothing of substance to the alleged invisibility experiment. I think I have to burp.
Okay, great. I'll finish off this paragraph then. Hoover discussed the annotations with Austin N. Stanton, president of Vero Manufacturing Corporation of Garland, Texas, during meetings about Vero's contract work for ONR. Did you get it?
Yeah. Stanton became so interested that Vero's office began producing mimeographed copies of Jessup's book with the annotations and Allen's letters. First a dozen and eventually 127 copies. These copies came to be known as the Vero edition.
That's kind of
cool. That's so cool. I want to own it.
Yeah. Can we buy these on thrift books?
But how fun. They were like, you know what? This is so neat. We're just going to fucking make copies of this.
We are going to make this. We're going to take it and sell it.
But I mean, I was kind of like, why? You know?
Well,
are they interested in what's being put forth? You know?
We'll see when
they're like, this is so interesting. Let's publish this.
When you frame it like that, yeah, it is an interesting question.
Because I can't imagine people in a manufacturing corporation would care. Yeah. Like, why do you care?
Why do they care?
Unless you're going to try and use it for something.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know.
Anyway. Okay. So these are more realistic theories or the research that people put into it after the fact.
So this is all like, okay, after the fact.
Yeah, after. Because so the beginning of what started out was there's like multiple kind of ideas. I think this has shifted enough to where there are people like, oh, greenish fog. Oh, bodies half stuck in it. Like there's a lot of different stories now about what it is.
Yeah, it's a lot of like word of mouth kind of stuff. Yeah. Like there's not a lot of information readily available.
There's just Alan's bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, so personnel at the 4th Naval District have suggested that the alleged event was a misunderstanding of routine research during World War II at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. One theory is that the foundation for the apocryphal stories arose from degaussing experiments, which have the effect of making a ship undetectable or invisible to magnetic mines.
Okay, so that is entirely practical for a warship.
Another possible origin of the stories about levitation, teleportation, and effects on human crew might be attributed to experiments with the generating plant of the destroyer USS Timmerman, wherein a higher frequency generator produced corona discharges, although none of the crew reported suffering effects from the experiment. So this is like, what could this guy have heard or seen that might be twisted into whatever this became?
Yeah. Which, as we've talked about before, was like one person tells another person who interprets the story just a little incorrectly, but then they pass it along and it's just a little less accurate with each retelling.
Which is kind of even happening now. The whole like, my friend who knows the guy who worked in this department says we totally have aliens.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Is anybody actually going to come forward, or is it just a guy who knows a guy who knows someone?
Yeah. I'm kind of stoked that that's back though.
It's honestly made like the alien Reddit so fucking obnoxious.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because it's always like disclosure's coming, and it's just another guy who heard something from somebody who might have worked there 20 years ago.
Yeah. I like the good old fashioned storytelling aspect of these conspiracy theories. And I think there's an element of that in this complete misinformation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I just wish it weren't. People just sound like they're trying to sell books now, as opposed to like, give me somebody with an actual mental illness. Like,
yeah,
that's what I want. I'm with you because that's so much more fun than like.
It is. Yeah.
No, you have to meditate, and then the aliens will come see you. It's like, that's okay. That's nothing. That's giving nothing.
No, it's not. That sounds like a waste of time. Yeah. Matter of fact. That's not fun at all.
No. You should try meditating though. You should try meditating outside and see what happens.
I do meditate some. I like to meditate. it helps calm me down. I feel like I've got like a hyperactive brain and I'm just always on the go. So there are times that, I put on a nice ambiance video on YouTube and I will just sit with my thoughts and kind of let them filter out a little bit.
You should do that on your deck while staring at the sky and willing aliens
No,
to
no,
you.
no, no, no. I ain't
But
doing
you have to have your intentions be pure.
Oh, okay.
Like just a friendly meeting. It's like trying to approach a cat.
What if cats are aliens? My God, I've got one in my house.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Although birds aren't real, those are
that's true.
government spies.
True. Yeah.
See, that's a theory I could do. It's kind of a fun one.
That is a fun one. That one kind of came out of nowhere. That
Yeah,
one caught me off guard. Yeah.
But I think it's been long enough. Like, there has to be time. It has to. It needs time to grow.
Yeah, I hear you.
Where was I? USS Eldridge was not commissioned until August 27th, 1943, and it remained in port in New York City until September 1943. The October experiment allegedly took place while the ship was on its first shakedown cruise in the Bahamas.
What, they were taking cruises to the Bahamas in this thing?
Just to wake it up?
Yeah, okay.
Although proponents of the story claim that the ship's logs might have been falsified or else still be classified.
Ooh.
An alternative explanation is that USS Hamman was actually used rather than USS Eldridge, as the Hamman arrived in the shipyard on October 20th, 1943.
So they pulled the old switcheroo.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Everybody's worried about this one ship, but really it was another.
Yep.
We need to be looking at that one.
The Office of Naval Research stated in September 1996, ONR has never conducted investigations on radar invisibility, either in 1943 or at any other time. Maybe it was 1996 where this was really picking up speed, and I remember it from like my childhood.
Yeah.
I was like, what a weird, why would...
It's like,
like now they have to make a statement. Like,
I was about to say, like it's one of those things that like gets to a certain point where they're finally like they have to come out and they're like, okay, we've got to say something about this. This is right. You guys are being crazy.
Yeah. Pointing out that the ONR was not established until 1946, it denounces the accounts of the Philadelphia experiment as complete science fiction.
Well, okay. I mean, that's exactly what they would say.
That's true.
But I
mean, like Project Blue Book, they kind of slapped that together just to be like, see, we're investigating it and nothing is suspicious.
Yeah.
There's no alien activity here. We've looked into it. While they're trying to slap Hynek down every chance they get.
Yeah.
Until it turned over to more and more skeptic people who would just like check off a list and be done with it.
Do you think that if you're the president, you get to know all this stuff too?
If I'm Trump?
Yes. Because,
honestly, that would be the only perk of being president. I'd be like, give me all of the files right now. I'm writing a book.
Well, that's give me all the files right now. Call CNN. I'm going live. I'm just curious because it just seems like one of those things, like why, I don't know, like why would the president really need to know a lot of this kind of stuff from like decades ago? But I'm also just,
I doubt, they're not going to,
like, would you, you don't want more people knowing about bad, fucked up shit you might have done in the past.
Yeah. And so then, especially if it's somebody like Trump.
Yeah, I'm just like,
that bitch can't keep a secret.
Can you imagine like trying to explain this shit to Donald Trump and then the next like press conference is him just
actually, you know what? Nobody would believe him.
Well, that's true. They'd just be like,
except people who already believe the stupidest shit.
Yeah, touche. Yeah. But I just like everybody always says that about being the president. Like the president's got all the secrets. Like you get to read through all this stuff. And I don't know if I buy that. Like I think there's stuff that you don't get to learn about. You don't just
I would believe
automatic
that.
clearance.
I would think that even if you're president, you don't have the clearance.
Because like, wasn't he on some interview like talking about, oh, I read through the JFK file, like, just on the fucking news talking about all this stuff.
God, see, I knew that. That doesn't surprise me, but that would be me too. That would be me too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd be like, you guys aren't gonna believe, like,
yes, I'd be like, I read everything. I don't want to be president anymore. I just came for the hot goss.
I haven't done shit for your taxes or your healthcare. I've just been reading about there's fucking aliens, guys. Like, can you believe it?
No, I don't. I fully believe that there's lots of shit the president would not know.
Yeah. So therefore, there's no reason to run for president. That's what I'm getting
at. Yeah, you're right. You're so right.
Yeah.
Because that would be the only fucking reason that I would ever.
Yeah, I ain't touching it.
Okay. So I saw this comment, which was pretty dope and led me to putting something else on my list.
Okay.
So I think the original post was like, what happened to this experiment? Like, what is this? And this person said, they didn't abandon it. The story goes that they were trying to. God, I got to burp again.
Uh-oh. Well, now I've got a burp too. I feel a burp coming on.
Okay. The story goes that they were trying to create a cloaking device by creating a very high voltage magnetic field around the ship. The ability for high voltage fields to create pseudo-cloaking effects was later termed the Hutchison effect. Supposedly, and that might be maybe what we were talking about, possibly. No, a high voltage magnet. Never mind.
Predator tech.
Yeah. Supposedly, the cloaking effect worked with the side effect of warping space-time. So basically, what they ended up creating, perhaps accidentally, was a very rudimentary, very unstable time warp machine that left many people dead, insane, trapped in bulkheads. Some people supposedly melted to the deck.
Well, you know, high voltage, I mean, I don't know. I'm no physics expert, but like, what could that do to the temperature of surrounding areas? Like, could it literally melt people into the side of a ship or something like that? So it's not like they're necessarily like the particles are combining or, you know, reforming or anything. It's just too.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you just wouldn't have people on the ship while you're doing this. I don't know why this is ever a part of this scenario.
Somebody forgot to make the call one day. They're just like, oh shit, we forgot to tell people to get off the ship. We're about to set this thing. We're about to rip.
Honestly, okay. During this time period where scientists get to do whatever the hell they want and there's no ethics, like maybe they were just like, fuck it. We're doing a whole go. We'll know the effect it has on people. We don't care.
Yeah. It could be.
So they took those findings and created the Montauk.
I don't know.
Montauk.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of like Taurus. You know, you say Taurus, Montauk. It doesn't work. Montauk project. Which used those findings to develop a number of different technologies that would take advantage of those time warp effects. So cloaking, teleportation, interdimensional travel, as well as seemingly unrelated things like mind reading, thought form interfacing.
Whoa. Could you imagine being like, we just want to make this ship invisible. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, we have figured out interdimensional travel. Yeah. We just opened up a wormhole in
I feel like you have to know that that's a risk.
One would think, but I mean, shit, it's science, baby. You're just out there doing stuff to figure out what happens.
Just fucking around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently the psychic interfacing is a necessary aspect of the teleportation and time interdimensional technology, perhaps as an intuitive control interface. This is all in the comment. This is such a comment.
It's like a dashboard to like help you control the
but who controls that? How many minds? You know? This is getting like Pacific Rimmy. Like,
yeah.
Are you linking up with your besties? Like you all have to be on the same page to make things work?
I don't know.
Those developments supposedly also facilitated the eventual development of consciousness transferal technologies. I don't know where they're getting this.
What we found an authority on this is apparent. That's what I'm gathering.
The Montwac. I hate this word. It's probably like Native American too. Like this is very.
It might just be Montauk.
Montauk.
Montauk. I like Montwac though. That's a good one.
Montauk. Try to say both of them at the same time. Montauk project was supposedly still going into the 1980s. And local legend has it that the facility was abandoned when some sort of monster came through a portal and trashed their lab.
That sucks so bad. Just there doing your little experiments, trying to figure out this cloaking technology. You've ripped open space-time, and now all of a sudden you let a fucking monster into the facility and it's just killing people and trashing the lab. Man, I don't know. I don't think I have science cut out for me either. I can't be the president.
That sounds amazing.
So you're game for it.
Yes.
Put me in.
Oh my God. Yeah. Supposedly kids used to explore the abandoned facility, and there was all sorts of evidence. I'm going to read it the way it's written.
There you go.
All sorts of evidence of something crazy happening there. Everything ripped apart and blown up. Which, I mean, abandoned stuff though.
Yeah.
Like an abandoned building is going to be fucked up.
Yeah, that tends to happen over time.
This ties into the legends of the Montauk monster. And I don't know how this... Okay. And I haven't seen Stranger Things, but I'm pretty sure it's loosely based on that lore. Which this sounds like Stranger Things.
Yeah, it does.
And how have you not seen Stranger Things, though? Commenter.
Yeah, I mean...
At least the first season? What the fuck?
Yeah, like, come on. I don't watch TV at all, hardly. And I've seen every episode of Stranger Things.
Yep. At this point, it's like a hate watch, you know?
No, I love it.
No, I don't hate it, but I don't care anymore, but I'm still watching.
I mean, I don't care anymore either, but like everybody went through you can't go back and like replicate the feeling of watching that first season for the first time.
Yep.
This last season, I was kind of like, all right, like, let's tie this shit up and go home.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like short, focused stories. Like, you nailed it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
You can't do it again.
Yeah.
Let it rest.
Yep. I'm with you.
You lose that monster feeling. It's not that scary anymore.
Yeah, because you have the explanation for like
you have too much plot now.
You have too much plot now. I'm 100% with you. Thank you for tuning in to our Stranger Things.
Anyway, this is exactly Stranger Things. And I fucking love that. If that's based on a real thing, that's something I'm gonna cover at some point.
I mean, we talked about it in our Oak Ridge episode too. Like there were parts of Stranger Things that were loosely based off of the story of Oak Ridge.
It's true.
This episode has been nothing but an advertisement for our other episodes.
It's true. That's true. And episodes to come.
And episodes to come, yeah.
But not this one.
But not this one, no.
The people who worked for the project then took their findings into private dark industry, which like Vero Manufacturing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. What is Vero Manufacturing? Is it a weapons?
Is it still around? Was located Garland, Texas. The main building burned in 1956. It is permanently closed on Google.
But look, it says Vero Manufacturing Company Fire, the portal to Texas history.
Oh boy. So
the word choice.
Oh man.
And then the building burned down in 1956 after this guy made copies of this book. Stoney.
Are we are we kicking over a rock right now?
I mean, Huh.
How about that, huh?
Huh. What do they make?
Oh
No,
man.
I don't want your fucking cookies.
And there's pictures of it.
Oh, it looks like just standard like distribution line kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Why would this guy be looking at that book though?
I don't know. I do not know.
Anyway,
Now
the
we're gonna be down this rabbit hole for the rest of the day.
yeah. The technology itself is alive and well and continuing to be developed and utilized by dark organizations and breakaway civilizations, which if your company burns down in 1956, now you can go dark with something new and you have all this shit. I wonder where like the people from Vera Manufacturing ended up.
We're gonna have to start doing some digging.
This is a story that sets the scene for all of the secret space programs, super soldier, breakaway civilization stories that are coming out nowadays. TLDR, they didn't abandon the tech, they went dark with it.
Maybe they found something down there in Texas and they were like, shit, we can't go forward like this. We've got to get this thing underground.
Where's the I wonder where the Montwat shit was supposed to be.
Oh, there's a whole book about that.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be fiction. Maybe not though. I don't know. Maybe it's
Oh
not.
yeah. I didn't even pay attention to that. The first book in a series.
New York.
Who?
So Montauk. Okay, at Camp Hero or Montauk Air Force Station in Montauk, New York. That's definitely Native American then.
Yeah.
Like Mohawk.
Mm-hmm.
Montauk.
This has been a weird episode. I feel like this is every now and then this happens where most episodes we like come to a reasonable conclusion. We're like, yes, this is fun, but here's what probably happened, blah blah blah. I don't feel like there is that with here because there is that with here. That's right. I don't feel like there is that with this episode because there's still not really a consensus as to what exactly happened or transpired. But it feels like a story where like there's an awful lot of smoke for there not to be any sort of fire, and we're coming out of it with more questions than any clear ideas as to what happened or what could have caused it.
So a guy they followed up with a guy, and I think like nothing really interesting came up from this guy other than he was a vet at some point. I think he did serve in the Navy, but that he had like I don't know. This, I honestly don't remember. I don't know why I didn't add it into the agenda.
Okay, cool.
But that his like wife said I don't think he was fully schizophrenic. But I do think there was mental health going on, or I don't know. Anyway, nothing he said could be verified, but what's really interesting to me is that people thought it was interesting enough to make copies of the book. And then it's like these ideas come from somewhere and they take them. Like even remote viewing that came from them thinking like, oh, well, we heard the Russians are doing it, so now we have to try.
Yeah. Well, it's man, there's some really interesting I guess frameworks out there, ideologies that a lot of actual technological advancement will come from science fiction as the sort of seed of those ideas that could be what this feels like a little bit. It's like this story, like what we're reciting here doesn't really, it's fun. We had a lot of fun with it, but like, there's not a lot of like concrete evidence or information about it. But the fact that separate conversations were kind of born out of this is what's kind of like, oh, wait a second now. Maybe there is a little something more to this than we're getting.
Yeah, maybe it's the seed that goes into other stuff.
Yeah, that's a more eloquent way of getting across what I was trying to say to begin with.
So that's very fun.
That is pretty fun. Yeah, because now it's like, well, what about this Vero company? What's whatever happened to them? They're just kind of gone off the face of the earth all of a sudden.
Yep. Like, oh, it burnt down. Wow.
Burned down 1956.
That's weird.
Also, that's kind of shitty.
Which that's a year later, because I forgot
Yeah.
that like Alan did all this stuff in 1955.
Yeah.
So they made copies of this book and then they just fucking disappeared.
And they fucking disappeared. That's spooky. See, that is like, that's information we have.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And then it makes you think like, oh, huh.
How about that?
Yeah.
What could possibly cause that?
See, that's what's so fun about conspiracy theories.
When they're, I mean, when they're done right.
Sure. When there could be something to it and you're like, huh, well, okay.
Also, how shitty is it going to be if they've had this technology figured out for like 70 some odd years and we've never got to see it?
Well, what if it's like what UFOs are using? Like, what if UFOs are just like, oh, invisibility, teleportation?
Yeah. So it's like our own people.
I mean, there is that theory. There has been that theory that like UFOs are our own like high-tech vehicles and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
That the president would not know about because Trump would be blasting that shit.
I know. It would have been like the first day he was on the job.
Honestly, I think I do remember people saying like, I can't wait for Trump to spill the beans.
Yeah.
Because he absolutely would.
It's like, I got to ride in one of the UFOs. You should have seen it.
We've got the biggest UFOs.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, that was a good episode.
Yeah.
Little Stranger Things in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Stranger Things is a fun conspiracy show.
Yeah. I honestly, talking about this made me kind of want to rewatch the first season again because that was good TV.
The last season. I mean, listen, I like the villain. I like where we went with all this, but I think to your point, I think when the element of mystery is gone as to like what is causing all this, I think it kind of changes the complexity of it a little bit. And you won't get this reference, but it's like a lot of people really like Half-Life 2. It's opened up the world. I honestly never played it, so I don't even know about the story really. But it's like the aliens are walking around in suits and shit. But one was better where you're at a facility in a lab that's like falling apart and sirens are going and you don't know what's happening. There's just aliens all over the place all of a sudden. Yeah. That's good. I don't want more plot. Don't make the shit realistic. Don't bring aliens into the world in a way that makes sense. Let me not know what's going on. I'm with you. It makes for a fun, compelling storytelling experience.
For sure.
We're over our hour mark.
Yeah, we are.
What do you have any parting thoughts on the Philadelphia experiment? This was a fun one. I really enjoyed this because I hadn't heard this theory before today.
I wish there's a little bit more meat to it because the idea is really fun, and I think it can make really fun stories. And I like that it plants seeds. I just wish there were more to it a little bit, but
yeah. I have oh man, I don't know if I want to derail us for another like 10 minutes on this because we're already so close to getting out of here. Maybe we'll talk about this off air a little bit. But all right,
yeah, well, fuck our audience.
Okay, fine. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. You talk about, this is another one of those things that I think is interesting. you talk about like that time in world history, like the 40s, World War II,
Yeah.
the atomic bomb and all that. There is a fun conspiracy theory out there that's like, well, you know, aliens, or I've seen whatever entity of choice like stepped in during this time to say like, no, we cannot let you destroy the earth. And I just think it's interesting to look back at stuff like this. It's like all of this ramped up in the 40s and 50s. And then, you know, we had the Cold War, obviously, the threat of nuclear warfare. And today there's, you know, we don't have to get into all that, but it just kind of makes me wonder, like, it is kind of interesting to think all of this stuff was really ramping up, happening back in the 40s and 50s, and still hasn't, you know, there hasn't been any sort of like major catastrophe. So I don't know, maybe there's just some weight to this idea that the aliens are keeping us from using the nuclear weaponry.
Steering us in this is ancient alien shit.
It is ancient alien shit.
Steering the little monkeys into the right direction.
They stepped in there like, whoa, shit, guys. They figured out the fucking atom bomb. They're cloaking warships. They've ripped open space time. Now we've got to step in. Like, we are going to infiltrate their ranks and make sure.
Maybe that's why we're seeing aliens.
Maybe that's why we're seeing aliens.
Well, I'm not seeing aliens, but why it's kicked up again.
Yeah, they're like, shit, we gotta, you know, tensions are getting pretty high. We gotta step in again.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a fun fiction idea in there for that, for sure.
Yeah, it's called Ancient Aliens. But yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah. So this topic, today's topic, kind of fits into that. Pretty
or the
neat.
simulation theory.
Or the simulation theory too, yeah.
If we have overlords kind of steering us in a direction.
Yeah. Well, feels great.
Yep.
Another show in the books. What are you working on these days?
What do you mean?
What do you want to promote at the end of this episode?
I've got nothing.
Okay. Yeah, we're
offline. Don't contact me.
Phone It In is available wherever you take in your podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Unless you're going to give us a 1-star review, then fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
What are you doing with your time where you're like listening to stuff and then giving one 1-star review?
Yeah.
That's the name of my brother. So I don't know who that is.
Cheers to you too, Ross. Thanks for tuning in. You have a good night as well. Yeah, which like we only have like 5 reviews on Spotify anyway, so you give us a 1-star, just great our rating.
Like, why are you doing that to a small company? Come on.
Yeah. No, we said something that struck a nerve. I don't know. Maybe it's the Men in Black listening. They were like,
I mean, leave an actual text review, you fucking coward.
Yeah. All right. Well, rate, review, subscribe, all that. She is the Cryptid Queen Rooster. I'm Big Natural Stoney Keeley. And until next time, you stay classy, phoners.
Bye.